It doesn't matter how hard you get
I
hit
see.
or knocked down. It's just about how much you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Hello and welcome back to Wiser Together. This is your host, Parmeet Kumar, with the co host of this podcast and my brother, Anas Pasha. How are you, bro?
Hi, I'm good, bro. How are you? How are you guys?
Good, bro. Good. Just getting back in the zone. Had a
Yeah, you were you were on a trip to Brisbane,
Yeah.
I
So
believe.
I fought last week, and then after that, I was just trying to get back in the zone. Then had to travel for work to Brisbane. So I've just been so out of momentum in the past week. If you, I mean, I haven't been
Definitely.
to the gym in today is the fifth day, and it's absolutely
No, we'll get to the fight
yeah.
as well that you talked about. That's like a huge something that I and obviously you want to talk about as well. But I think we've been talking about momentum a lot. So 5 days out of the gym, how does that feel?
It's honestly it's sickening. I Prior to these 5 days, I was in the gym about 25 days straight in a row. And most days was half of those days was twice a day. Obviously, that was the time while I was in camp and stuff. So I was in the momentum was there, and obviously there was something that I was trying to do as well on the outside that kept me going. But now, like after that, you trying to chase something so much, and then when it's done, you sort of feel a bit lost. So to be very transparent and honestly, this is life. So these things, ups and downs keep happening. But now I'm aware that I'm in a zone where I'm sort of, sla-
Sort of like a rut. Sort of like a
yeah,
rut, yeah. Like the beginning stages of a rut.
you could say so. And man, it's just working out is something that really gives me a lot of energy, and it kind of helps me be more active. If I don't work out, I feel really lazy. And this is the momentum we were discussing, right? For me, like how I see it
Yes.
is momentum is once I've become aware, I'm able to kind of pinpoint what path I am on, and there's only two. You're either moving forward or you're moving backward, right? It depends on what momentum you've caught on, and it's not like you kind of have a momentum going on. If you're moving forward, it's going to be like that forever. For me, like the shift is very inevitable and frequent. It happens frequently, which I'm trying to avoid. So I'll sort of be in momentum. Everything is on point. Uh, Doing all the things I need to do in a day. Everything going to plan, working out, all the things that we do, and then
Correct.
sometimes it just happens that I realize if I don't start the day right, so let's say I plan to wake up on 5 and I have my whole day planned out. If I skip that first task, which is waking up at 5, if I sleep in and I wake up at like 6 or 7, I've realized that everything else has
Domino effect?
basically exactly that. It has a domino effect, and the momentum has already shifted. Right now, I have to work to get back to that zone where I'm like, you know, tunnel vision. Uh,
Brother, I don't know what you're talking about because you have momentum. The person lacking momentum is right
no,
here. This guy has edited 3 videos right now,
uh,
and I am only able to edit
bro,
one
yeah,
out of there are left. So I do understand. I'm just interjecting for a second here. I'm just saying that sometimes we do feel like that, but sometimes we do feel like we have a bad day, but those are bad moments. And I believe your bad moments might be starting from the top of the funnel, and but your basic structure might still be intact. That's why I said it's like a top stage of the funnel of the rut. before you spiral down to the later stages of rut, which I was in because of my sickness, then because of the Ramadan routine. However, I do feel like the things that you're talking about, I feel like you're at the top stage of the funnel. I just wanted you to have that knowledge, and just wanted to interject right there.
No, no, 100%. I know. You know, when I thought about this, I was like, I'm going to share this with Anas. I sort of knew that, obviously, from the outside, it's a very different perception. And when you, obviously, you know what's going on and how you feel. And although you might be able to execute on some things and do some things that might seem like everything's going perfectly well, uh, you really deep down know. Like when you were going through that illness as well, I didn't see much change on your output per se from my perception, right? You were still showing up, maybe just a bit ill and not as energetic and stuff, which is totally understandable. But in terms of the work you were delivering, your output, uh, your involvement with me and engagement on the projects that we're working together on, it was all there. So I, although like I had an idea of what you might be going through within, because of what you shared with me, I never felt like on the outside that there was much. Does it make sense? But from what you shared with me, I could very much tell that you're not in a place where you want, like, you don't like being here. You wanna, you know what I mean?
I do understand, and I when you said about working out, about how it makes you so energetic, I 100% relate with you. Actually, the reason why, in terms of output and productivity, you didn't see a difference was that through these years while working professionally, and ever since I've been, like living and breathing, I've always set a higher standard for myself to always deliver and do more than what I can. So this is what I was talking about. The answer to this, or the realizations that I want to talk about really quickly, are two things. I always try to do things which moves the needle. This is what my boss tells me. I give credit to him. I had such a, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get attacked a lot, because I can't take ownership for this, but I'm sorry guys, but I had such a desi mentality that you might do 10 things, and you might not get the result, but there are two or three items which moves the needle, which really moves the needle. For me, this was one of those projects that we were talking about, of course, Wiser Together, and then my job. These two three things were the things that moved the needle. So whatever energy I had left, I was utilizing to get these things done. Of course, not at 100%, as you pointed out, but as much as I can to get the needle moving. Otherwise, you see, like, we're we're doing this so consistently, and that is the reason why. So I just try to do these things that move the needle. The second thing, for me, that I wanted to just mention is that I am so happy because, you see, the again, like I said, you are also doing the things that move the needle. However, you might not be aware of it, but you are doing the things that move the needle. Like I mentioned, you went to Brisbane for business purposes. You are continuing with your studies. You were continuing to work for the other projects, and then, because it is only because you have set a higher standard for yourself, that even while at the top funnel of the rut, you have that ability to still do things that move the needle. So this is the realization, because your standard is so high now, your standard of productivity is so high than the average person, that while you're not able to do one or two more items that move the needle for you, you are still able to tackle a couple of items that move the needle. So and it is amazing. You see, this I'm now slowly starting to understand the thing that you talk about in terms of having the power of now, having to understand, because, you see, you are able to identify that you are at the top funnel of the rut, and that there's something that needs to be done to get out of that. So these things, these realizations are amazing, because, you see, a person, like, we see degeneracy, we see depression, we see anxiety. These things are now the middle stage, or the lower middle stage of the rut, and this is where people don't even realize that they are in a rut. So for you to realize this, and for
First
you
step.
to, like, saying these things, yeah, this is amazing, because you have that knowledge, you have that power of now, like, literally. So yes, so I 100% relate with you.
Yeah, I think what you said, I agree. Because, like, from from past 2 years, like I realized if I have a responsibility, if you have something to deliver, then no matter if you're sick or whatnot, you will end up doing that. And that a lot of that comes back to having that accountability factor, right? If I was just doing this on my own, if there was something that I was holding my, like I wouldn't be able to trust me. Like I was feeling.
I would not. Guys, again, I'm so sorry because you're dropping golden nuggets, and I must interject because there are things I never shy away from, and one of them is giving due credit and having giving these realizations because I had my own YouTube channel, I still have, and in 1 year's time, I could only produce 6 videos, and that was because I held no one accountable, no one held me accountable, but myself. But over here, right now, we are on a roll, and that is only. And when again, I always say this, and I think I'll keep on saying this. This is such a huge impact. This has had such a huge impact. So accountability is just so important, and that also again when I was talking about moving the needle, it was all about that I had my accountability with my profession career, I had my accountability with you, this wiser together, and with our fans and friends as well. So
No,
definitely.
that 100%. Like I realize this so much. Obviously, life is up and down. So like whenever it's down and I don't feel like doing much, this accountability thing that I have to, I'm responsible for something, right? And it comes down to, like, I realized this early on that it was more of an observation that when I am held accountable to other people, be it my employer or my family, my friends, I deliver more. And this is something we've touched on before as well. But whereas, like you had the same example as well, when you hold yourself accountable, it's easy to cheat yourself very easily. It just happens in a second, right? So, like today as well, like I wasn't feeling the best, and if this had been just me, I wasn't accountable to you, I would have probably postponed this. And that's how it happens in life generally with other things. When you don't have that accountability factor, you try and push things forward again and again and again because, like, nobody wants to be uncomfortable, nobody wants to face these things, right? uh,
I'm just smiling because I had the same thought when I was working out. I was like, today can be tomorrow. I Because I had the same thought, but then again, I had the same process, and I had you in my mind. I was like, no, I
I
cannot.
had the same. I was like, nah, man, it's just like we have it planned because, and this thing, it's so like I'm so grateful for it because I have that accountability and uh, responsibility that I need to show up to. No matter what momentum I am, I have to show up, right? And because I respond better, that I do show up, and that kind of helps me shift the momentum, right?
Absolutely.
So, man, it's honestly a blessing. But going back to,
No, Parmeet, this is, yeah, momentum that you mentioned. This is because, again, if both of us had said one thing or the other, and if this wouldn't been happening, like we wouldn't been shooting this podcast, then it would have broken the momentum.
yeah.
So it's,
And that's
yeah,
what's beautiful. Like when
you're
you're
absolutely
down,
on
I pick
point.
you up. When I'm down, you pick me up, and that
Absolutely.
just
Yes, sir.
helps keep this going and strengthens our bond as well. So I would
Yes,
highly
sir.
recommend for everyone to, uh, either, I mean, if you're able to hold yourself accountable, like properly, 100%, there is nothing better than that. That's the most sustainable. But obviously, I've seen in most cases that doesn't work out. Like people find it, including me, easier to cheat their thoughts and promises that they make to themselves. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to wake up early, or I'll go to the gym at 6 a.m. or whatnot. And then, like, you find it very easier to cheat yourself. Not cheat, but, like, you know what I mean, right? Uh,
Correct.
not hold up to the promises you make to yourself, right? And but if it's someone else, if it's uh, someone on the outside, uh, be it a friend, a trainer, employer, parents, whatever, uh, you then don't. And it comes down to, in a way, like, what.
Yeah. Why do you think? Why do you think is that?
That's a very good question, and it just the underlying observation is that people are, you know, if you with others you have to build your self-respect, right? And you do that through doing certain action and being a certain way, right? If you're able to lose that, if you don't hold up to the word you've given, or if you don't you know don't account for the responsibilities that you've committed to, uh, you might lose that respect in their eyes, which might be really hard to earn back. But in your personal case, like, it's just you versus you at the end of the day, right? If you cheat yourself, you can always make peace with yourself, and try and convince yourself, oh, it's okay, it doesn't matter. But I feel like in the long term, that's very harmful for yourself, for your relationship with yourself.
Absolutely. Honestly, I had the same answer in my mind. I think you summed it up. It's all about respect. I cannot stand, for example, if I talk about you, like having 1 ounce of less respect than you did for me yesterday. I actively work to gain more of your respect,
Same, yeah.
because again, it's all about the thing that you said during Kika's podcast about two-sided admiration. I have this immense admiration for you, and I know that you also. And I will never do anything to sabotage it. And it's one of my life policies as well, that to own my screw ups and never make promises that I can't keep. So this is again has to do with what you talk about cheating yourself, oneself as well. And I realize as well that too often, if we're not achieving the things that we want to, and at not the right place that I want, like for example, as of now, I am not at the physical position, like in terms of body image that I have of myself, and that is because of my decisions, and that is because too often I cheat myself. Too often I do not keep my own words. Too often I'll just go and grab, KFC or this and that.
Friday
I love
nights.
chocolates, so I'll just grab a chocolate as well. Yeah, yeah. Too often I cheat myself. So with the other person, that is something
Very
hard
hard,
earned.
yeah.
That is something hard earned and easily lost as well. In my experience, I've seen respect being lost just like this in one incident, in one occasion, and then it might never be earned again. So I do believe, yes, you summed it up quite correctly with this word respect. And that is the thing that leads us, that like, we can't cheat, uh, we cannot afford to not keep our words with the other person that we have so much admiration for. So like you said, that it is highly recommended by both of us, that you find someone, but find someone that you admire
Yes.
so much, that you can never, like, I admire my employer, my boss so much. I cannot, like, I can never.
About
Like, I
integrity,
admire him
yeah.
like anything, like my family. Absolutely, I could never. I would have sleepless nights. I would go into panic, like, if I ever do not do the thing that I'm expected to do. And same with you as well. So it's just all about
Yeah,
respect.
no, definitely. And it comes down to that integrity part, that you work towards, maybe consciously or subconsciously, everybody's different, but uh, you work towards creating a certain image for yourself. And although you know who you are, it is through the perception on the outside, people close to you, you really get a reflection of who you are or how you see yourself, you know. Uh, and
Yes.
although that might be easier to mess around with within yourself, because at the end of the day, we know about ourselves, and there is so many secrets, things, dark sides, good sides, bad sides, everything within, right? Outside only gets a part of that, right? And that is the kind of image you've built for yourself, doing certain things, talking a certain way, taking certain actions, right? And that is
Yes, sir.
the image you've built for yourself. And although you shouldn't need outside validation, of course, that is not good, but it just gives you a reflection of how they see you, right? It's not 100%, but it's something, right? So just for me as well, like you mentioned, just it really haunts me. Like, it gets me out of bed at 5 a.m. if I need to show up for someone else, because I have another, like, just life policy similar to yours, which is we just use different words, but mine is just I never want to give anyone a chance to raise a finger at me. Don't even give them a chance.
You have mentioned that.
Yeah. So sorry, I was gonna sneeze, but
It is
anyway.
fine.
So that's that. Coming back to momentum, like, this is what I realized. If I'm doing everything in order, if either you're moving forward or you're moving backwards, right? If I'm doing everything I planned to do, the contract I set out for myself with myself, I manifested a certain routine for tomorrow, and I set out to do that. If I'm doing everything according to that, I'm moving forward. The energy I'm attracting, the thoughts I'm having, all are directed towards that. So that path keeps getting deeper and deeper, and the momentum keeps adding. So the thoughts I have, the energy I attract, kind of directs me more and more and more in that direction, if that makes sense. But,
It makes sense.
and like I mentioned before, either you're moving forwards or you're moving backwards. Like, if you're static, you're moving backwards as well. If you're stationary, you're moving backwards as well, because the world is moving forward, right? So the domino effect we talked about, like, if I'm a victim of this, if I don't start the day right, I've journaled on this countless times that if I don't start the day right, I don't end it right. And I pinned it down to that 1 second decision, which I kind of got from David Goggins as well. When we're in a hard situation, it only takes 1 second to quit, but it takes your whole, like, journey or life to persevere and to keep going and keep going and keep going, right? But it only takes 1 second to uh, you know lose or fail or give up, and it shows you the power of the mind. The mind only has to take over for 1 second, which, which is what
Yes, sir.
happens to me in the morning. In the morning, my mind is so freaking heavy on me, and I find it I struggle to be as aware I would want to be in the morning. So mornings are a bit hard, but that's where I've been able to pinpoint it, that, changing that, not giving into that 1 second decision and keep doing, because there has been times when I didn't give into that and I went to the gym and I continued, and literally in that day, wonderful things happened. But yeah, such is life. It's up and down, and momentum is very, very, very important. It's very important.
This is everything that you mentioned is so interesting because I feel like my Google sheet is is filled with
Yeah.
journaling on this, and and I am so proud to say that I have cracked this down to the bone because, as I mentioned, this is I've made these as funnels because I've been to the bottom of the pit, not only for a day, for a week, or a month. I've been there for 2 years at a time. I've been there. I've been at the bottom of the pit of the rut when there is no light at the end of the tunnel. I've seen darkness. I've seen no
Hmm.
hope. I've at one time contemplated that, okay, this is how life is going to be. Might as well enjoy it. So, but what happens is that you slowly crawl out of it one decision at a time. That is it. The Stoics also say that if you want to be beautiful, make beautiful decisions. At that time, I did not have Stoicism, but what I did have this innate understanding, which you also keep talking about. And I believe after one decision after the other, one decision after the other, I got out of the funnel. And now, what I've done is I have calculated my vices. So I have four vices basically. I will
No,
not name them; those are too
okay.
personal to be named here. There are four vices, and these four vices are basically the mouth of the funnel of the
Very
rat.
curious to know if
So
you can share any of them.
these are
I
basically,
I,
I would say, the
I
seven
can say
deadly
maybe
sins.
food
Out of
would
the,
be one of them, or no?
of course, yes, gluttony. So what I can tell is I would not name them. I do not feel that confident right
That's
now.
fine.
But what I would do is give you the hint. The hint is these basically are made out of the seven deadly sins which the Christianity faith has. So out of those seven, I have four. Um, so and these, by the way, are common. You will also have these four. I am
Yeah, even
sure
though you
everyone
haven't
has
said
these
it,
four.
I know what you are saying, and yeah.
Exactly. everyone listening must also know they're just in Urdu we have this saying that girban mein jhankna, which is like you just looking under your own shirt. So I have identified these four vices, and whenever I am engaging or indulging in these four vices, I know
Things are going south.
things are going to go down. Okay. And what I do is, and because again these indulgences are things, I believe in indulging in your vices, but do it in moderation, right? So that even if you're at the mouth of the funnel, you do not drop yourself in. And when you do, you must just be self aware. So, what you're talking about, I've been there. Then I was able to create this funnel. I was able to identify what gets me into
Hmm.
those funnel. And then, based on that, what I realized and what I am going to concur with you is routine.
Yes.
Routine is equals to discipline. When you are in a set routine, nothing can go wrong. Even if you are indulging in your vices, you will never go deeper
Yeah.
than the mouth of the funnel. And you have enough strength, enough awareness, enough fortitude to climb yourself back out. That is for me what momentum is. And I am going to say one thing. I never realized how important momentum was. This is going to sound like such a weird thing, but one time I was listening to a Donald Trump interview, and you know what he said? He was talking about another banker, another businessman, and you know how flamboyant and how bold he is. He said that that guy is just now done. He's not gonna come out. And the interviewer asked him why. He said because he lost momentum. I was like, holy, this guy can make sense
He's actually smart.
because
Like people don't give it to him.
he's yeah, I mean, of course, because of his actions overshadow, but like it made sense. He was like, yeah, of course, when you retire or when you stop at one thing, the answer to everything, the answer to happiness, the answer to a lot of things is momentum. It's just momentum. It's just to keep on going. And some days, as I mentioned, you're going to have bad moments, not even bad days. You're going to have bad moments. These moments are the indulgenceness of your vices. And your vices are so powerful. These vices are just so amazing at deceiving you, at tricking you, that they will push you. Like just imagine that scene of the movie 300, when he shouts, "This is Sparta," and he just kicks the guy into the well, like an over glorified well. This is what these vices do. They will kick you, they will push you into the funnel. But if you just understand that this is not a bad day, it's just a bad moment, just a chunk of time that is bad. And from there on out, start making good decisions. Call a friend, go for a run, take a cold shower, meditate, read a book. You know what I do? I clean my house. I am not even kidding you. I am so happy I have a Dyson vacuum
Oh,
cleaner. That stuff is worth
penny.
every fills, every dirham. Absolutely. Even if there is no mess, I create mess and I start cleaning. I start cleaning the house because that for me creates a snowball
Hmm.
effect. That is the first decision that I do to get out of the top of the funnel of the rut. And from there on out, I start feeling amazing, and then khalas. I'm out of the funnel, and then I say bye to my vices, and then I move on forth. So that was my analogy, and that is what I was trying to tell you, because I've been to the bottom of the rut for 2 years consecutively. It took me a lot of while, a lot of the journaling, the
When was
pseudo
that?
journaling that I do,
Was this
because
before the buy or?
I would say gap year. I took a gap year after college, and basically at that time also I was dealing with a sickness. So because of that, I had to take a gap year. Worst years of my life, but I'm so glad because those years has made me the person that I am, given me the knowledge, the insight that I needed to. And I'm so happy I'm out of that. But not only out, but better equipped. Very, very better equipped to deal with whatever life can throw at me. I just want to talk about momentum in terms of another aspect as well, because as you know that while I was doing my YouTube channel on the side, I had like an Instagram page, and I used to talk about hump day. So we're going to add that image of hump day here. And that hump day is talking about the day called Wednesday. And Wednesday is considered in national hump. Oh, again, this has two double meanings. A lot of people laugh at me for this. Don't take it as the wrong way. Just take it as a day where basically, your graph is from Monday until Sunday. You're productive. And then on Wednesday, you start thinking about the weekend.
Yeah.
Then your productivity might slow down. You're like, okay, I'm going to start on Monday, that sort of a thing. The graph will be there, so you'll know. And All I talked about on those Instagram videos, those videos are still there. All I talked about is that, guys, life is not, about the hump. It's about like straight progression. I don't know if I'm using the current
Yeah,
word, correct word, but
linear production.
linear
Yeah.
progression is what I. Yeah. So then it's just about that. You just keep like you said, because if you're not doing this, you're going backwards, and then you're starting again. That results in such a loss of time, such a valuable loss of time. Starting,
But it's almost
restarting,
like
starting,
impossible to
restarting.
have a linear progression. Like I would love to want that, but it's
Because for me, because we this is what I'm telling you. When you divide your rut into funnels, top, middle, bottom, then you will understand that you're not having a bad
bad
day, you're just
moment.
having a
Yeah,
bad moment.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
Not
because
get
these
carried
vices
away.
these vices are like apps. Why do you think they call it the seven deadly sins? Because these guys are deadly. People have lost their lives, people have lost families, people have good people with, oh my god, like people who could have been so much. I know personally a lot of them, they've given into their vices, and they've let their vices kick them in the gut. I was for 2 years a victim to those vices, those four vices. I was
Yeah.
a victim to them. But a point came then when I was able to, like, with help, or no help, or etc., or this or that, but I was able to get out and understand that I do not have a bad day. It's just bad moments. And once I realized that, it's like the vices are also like, damn, this guy is smart, he figured it out.
See, that's the
So
problem.
once you have this knowledge,
That's the
yeah.
problem. It's like that differentiation made is so 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 important and powerful. With me, like you know how I'm saying like the direction I take, all energy, all thoughts kind of take me more and more and more in that direction. So if I'm moving backwards, that movement is amplifying as I keep going on. And it's the same when I'm moving forwards. But it all starts with that one moment, right? And we give that one moment the power to affect our whole day, which then gives us the power to affect our whole week, right? Until you reset, be aware, and then, you know, reverse that momentum or whatever, right? But this is really, I'm gonna,
Can I
yeah,
talk about, I'll just take a minute to mention one more powerful thing which you will thank
yeah,
me
please.
for. So I've done so many things in my life. It feels like I'm so old. But anyways, I also ran a page called You Got This. So in that page, I used to. This is like the early realization. Doing these things actually get me help out of my rut. So that page was all about raw content, talking about, as the name says, that you
I
got
didn't know
this.
about
That
this.
like I'll share
Okay.
that page with you. So I was going over that today, and you know what I found? I found this amazing illustration, amazing thing, which we're going to add over here as well. And Parmeet, you know what this talks about? This talks just like, we're going to show the image, but so in a year we have 365 days, correct?
Hmm.
All right. So your base effort, like you were talking about, like, we're just eating, sleeping, drinking, like the basic things that keeps us alive. I'm not talking about any other extra thing, like the BMR, the basic metabolic rate. Like if we were just sitting idle like this, okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
doing the
yeah.
thing that are required, you take it as one, okay, 1.00 as the
Hmm.
number one, okay. Now if you in yourself, as per me, in 2023, let's go back to January 1st, okay, you take one, right, 1.00, which is again your basic effort. You multiply that by 365, which is your
Yeah,
average
yeah,
year's length, right? 365 days. The result is going to be what? 365,
yeah.
right? Or let's say that in terms of, because actually this involved math, I am so sorry, but I forgot what this was all about. Anyways, so let's just say it was um 365, correct. Now if you take as your base effort as 1.01,
Compound.
okay, yeah, absolutely. So if you take as 1.01, and that 1.01 can be anything. For example, you learning a new language, you
Anything.
trying to
Yeah.
work out, you trying anything that is adding that 1.01. Now, when you multiply that by 365, you get a different answer. I am sorry, guys. This was a different mathematical equation, but I'm going to put it up and you're going to get the answer. So the result is going to be different. The result basically is going to be far greater than what we got before, which was 365. So if you can pull up a calculator and if you multiply 1.01 with 365, it is going to be more than 365. So that shows that a consistent effort daily during those 365, and again, we're not talking about 1.2, 1.3, or 2.0. I am
Just a
talking
little,
about
yeah.
1.01. Yeah, 1.01. And that is going to give you a number which is far greater, which is far
Yeah.
substantial. But the deal is that you have to be consistent. And this was a post liked by so many people, shared by so many people, because it was just a simple trick of maths, a simple illustration explained by maths so well. And that has stuck with me. I'm
Yeah.
now, yeah, just going to diverge into the
I
importance of
think,
time with this.
yeah.
If we just understand the importance of time with consistent effort, you're going to get that linear progression.
I think you're talking about the power of compound, and Einstein said Einstein said that
Correct.
compound is. I think it was Einstein or some other scientist, but 90% it was Einstein. He said that compound is eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns from it, and he who
Absolutely.
doesn't pays for it. Right, and I'll just correct your mathematical equation. It's not 1.01 into
Please.
365. It's 1.01 into 1.01, and you do that 365 times because that's how it compounds. But essentially means the
Okay.
same thing, being consistent every day. So 1.01 into 1.01 into 1.01. And if you do that over a long period of time, the answer wouldn't be 365. It would be maybe 10, 15 fold more. And obviously you can.
Yeah, we'll put that picture up. I know I butchered that,
Uh,
but I hope like people understand this, because this has what has helped me go and always keep out of the top funnel of the rut. So yeah, but Parmeet, I believe your momentum from this to here, um, I don't believe it doesn't have to do with anything, because the fight camp that you had. Oh my God, like the preparation that you had, because Parmeet had shared his sheet with me, his workout sheet, his
I
schedule.
put it on Insta
And
as well.
again, yeah, yeah, you put it on Insta as well. We can maybe add that
Yeah,
over here as well, and we can show that. And I was so happy because Parmeet just like, like subtly mentioned that just keep a check, and I tried my best to do
thank
that
you for
every
that.
day. And I believe, yeah, of course, it's again, it's all about like admiration. So I just want to talk about like first of all, why boxing?
Oh, good question. Very good question. Why boxing? Interesting. Obviously, like I always try and find different ways to push myself, and although that could be in a lot of different ways, uh, boxing is one of them. It's obviously very scary. I don't know. It just comes down from that. I was bullied a little bit in school days, but I probably was a bully as well. I guess it was a bit of both. I don't know. It's just I wanted to. It's really scary taking a punch in the face, and it's. I mean, once you take it, it's fine. But it's even more scary being in that ring, and you know that the other person's gonna just there to kill.
Funny, because my subsequent question was going to be this: how does it feel to take a punch to the face? That was my subsequent question. I have never taken one, so I do not know. I've never been slapped as well.
Yeah. Uh,
I don't know. You tell me, please.
on
You tell everyone. How does it
I'm
feel?
gonna journal deeper on and reflect back deeper on why boxing, and we can come back to that question at a later time because I think there is more to it that I'm not able
Sure.
to kind of articulate in a proper way and communicate with you guys. So we'll come back to that in a later point. It's just something I need to reflect more on how it feels taking a punch. Uh, it's honestly like when you're in there you're just like you don't even think about it. The first few times is a shock, uh, and you really, really, really question yourself, like, why do I need to do this? Like, there's other ways to push yourself and this and that. And how I started it, I never thought I'm gonna fight or take this to the level that I have now. I just started because I am a fitness freak. I love doing things in that realm, and I was weightlifting for 4 years. As you know, I did pretty well there as well. I was with two of my friends, Rasul and Reber. They're crazy, and I was working out with them,
Yes.
and I was able to reach like my PR. And then I just wanted to shift towards something else. Weightlifting got really boring, and I got into boxing, which was just there to keep me fit. But then, as I started this journey of last year, I wanted to push myself more and more. And I set a goal this year for myself that I'm going to compete, because that is the only way to push yourself the most. It's the only way. This is another way that I hold myself accountable, right? Setting up these uh, things that I want to do, like, let's say, the fight or the half marathon, then I have no choice but to, train for it, or, show up. So uh, that's why I wanted to fight. And that was one of the goals for this year as well. But as you keep doing it, you get a bit used to it. I haven't done it as much. I've only been boxing for 1 year, 1.5 year or something, and I started sparring properly like this year. Uh, every time I spar, I get a headache. That's like a standard. I spar on Saturdays, pretty much every Saturday, and every Saturday I have a headache. My friends here not to mess with me, or they just know that it's a Saturday, and Parmeet is having a bad day. He has a headache, and but I don't know. I think I went very on a different tangent here. Uh, it's scary more mentally than physically in the beginning, taking a punch, but eventually I guess you get used to it to some extent. It's actually still very, very scary to step in the ring. Up until that point, your heartbeat is, sky high. Even honestly, like, I'll tell you, when I watch the video as well of the fight, like, my heartbeat beat goes really,
Because you sort of
yeah, I
relive
don't
the
know.
moment.
It's definitely scary. It's
I saw the fight maybe 3 times, and I must say, first of all, I've already said that in our personal voice notes. I am just so incredibly proud. I don't have any person in my life as of this moment that like has achieved this milestone. It is not about putting your gloves on. It is not about just walking into the ring. All of that stuff. It is about preparation. It is about, again, consistent discipline actions, consistently showing up to the things that you set out for yourself, and then getting there with the preparation. It's about the dichotomy of control that we talked about. It's about, if you are an archer, again, it's about preparing your bows and your arrows and setting your eyes on the target. And then once you let go of the arrow, all
yeah.
bets are off. So I must say, Parmeet, this is something what you have done is truly inspired not only me, but I'm sure a lot of our friends who are watching this and who will get to know about this. Because personally, for me, I really want heroes in my life. Unfortunately, the country that we belong for, we really and scarcely have heroes. And I see you as one, inshallah, in the future, because of the actions and because of the things that you are doing. So first of all, I just want to give you a
Thank
pat
you,
on the
bro.
back. I cannot do that, but I will do that virtually. Consider your
Yeah.
back as mine because I
Yeah.
got your back. My God, that was such a
No.
cringy joke. Anyways, just wanted to put that out there and let you know that you have done something. You have lit a fire, at least inside me, that I am going to carry. I want to talk about the fight itself. During the fight, as I saw that, and my God, like, you were in it. You were not letting the foot off the gas. That guy had to. I think he was in a shock. You were just attacking, bam, 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 attacking, faking, jabs, hooks, right there, this
Yeah.
and that. Just walk me through the fight, like what was going in your mind. And you've already said that about your heartbeat, but like, how were you able to isolate and just focus on the target and focus on the
Honestly,
match?
like maybe it's my inexperience or the minimal amount of time I've been boxing or my inexperience in the ring. But what I've heard from other people as well is, and it very much is in line with my experience. No matter how much you practice, no matter what strategy you think about how you're gonna go in and play the game, once you're in the ring, I genuinely don't even remember, except like two moments, not moments. Moments are like 1.5 minutes. That's basically a round. Like
Yeah.
like two, maybe like I just remember 1 second very vividly when I sort of he threw a hook and I went under it, which is like pretty much impossible. I've never done that before, but the timing on that was so amazing.
Wow.
So that I remember very vividly, and I was like, man, this was good. Like I just like felt it coming, and I ducked under, and he threw a hook. But honestly, coming back to your question, no matter how much you prepare, how much, because I prepared a lot, as you know. I mentally prepared a lot as well. I had a strategy going in that I wanted to go fight in a certain way. But once I was in there, I forgot everything. I forgot everything. My defense was also like sort of out of the window from round two. There was no defense on his part or my part. We were just hitting each other. Obviously, it's amateur boxing, so it's not like how you see the professionals doing it. But
Of course.
that's one thing that I realized, that so much preparation that I put into my guard, my my movement, and my composure, what strategy I'm going to implement, how it's going to go. All of that was just like, it wasn't even there. I don't even remember how it went. I don't remember thinking about my strategy. I don't remember thinking about my guard. In the ring, it was just like, I not genuinely, it was like do or die. And when you're in that do or die situation, there's very little thoughts and there's just more action. And most of these actions come out instinctively, right? So boxing is just about training yourself like that instinctively. So when you're in that moment where you need to respond to what they call it, fight or flight
Like fight or
yeah.
flight mode?
So
Yeah.
that just
Fight or
gets activated and you react instinctively. So like you would see, if you're not a boxer, you just be going like that. But once you start getting into the rhythm and stuff like that, and you build that instinct to punch and stuff, then it start coming out more natural. In practice, I'm so in form, like I'm informed, but when I'm fighting or when I'm sparring, I I look so bad. It's unbelievable. So I guess that is something that comes with time.
But that's for me, but that's life as well. We prepare, we do everything that is in our power. Again,
Yeah.
dichotomy of control. But then life throws punches at us. It's so interesting because, as you know, when I was reading the meditation, so Marcus Aurelius also used to
No way,
box.
really. Oh, I think you
He
mentioned it
he
before. Yeah.
yeah yeah. So he was not only a boxer but a
Mm.
wrestler as well. And I'm going to read this
Yeah,
quote
please.
because I'm unable to memorize this, but I picked it out. For this occasion. So the student as boxer, not fencer. So basically, fencer here, like the guys with the
Yeah.
long swords, he means, but in general, what he means is a gladiator, a person. So he's just making a comparison between a boxer as a person whose hands, whose
Yeah.
fists are his weapons, is a gladiator, a fencer
Or
who
yeah,
has a
weapon.
sword or who has an
Mm.
external weapon. Absolutely. So the student as boxer, not fencer. The fencer's weapon is picked up and put down again. The boxer's is part of him. All he has to do is clench his fist. So I try to interpret this, and what
Mm.
he's trying to say is that a person who practices such a sport as boxing, when he makes his hands, his fist, his weapons, and basically is not relying on an external weapon to protect him or defend him, then that person is suited to tackle the challenges of life. Because you see, right now, as of now, all of us are in a boxing ring. We don't know, we have not only one but many opponents, and through our own willpower, through our own mental power, through our own physical power, and every spiritual power that we have, we must either defend or attack based on the situation. We must either bob or weave or hook or punch,
Yeah.
and like dodge however we can. However, at the same time, we will get attacked. We will eat a lot of punches. We will get shocked and we will get wounded. And this is going to sound so cliched, but it is so true. It's what Rocky says, that it doesn't matter how hard you get hit
Should.
or knocked down. It's just about how much you can get hit and keep moving forward. That is how winning is done. Like literally, we all have scars, we all
Yeah.
have wounds, but the people who succeed in life, the people who keep moving forward and win that boxing match of life, is like carrying those punches and wounds and then just keep moving forward. So I saw you at the post fight, smiling, like being with your friends, enjoying. Even we had a
Yeah.
conversation as well, and I saw nothing but you having enjoyed that experience. Tell me, like, how's are you able to like keep such a positive attitude and like an
It's
attitude that keeps you moving forward?
honestly like, uh, first of all, the experience was, it's a once in a lifetime experience. My goal here, or it never was, to be a boxer, right? But I'm just a big fan of the sport as well, and I was so involved with everything. I just wanted to experience it one time, or maybe a few more times. It's a skill as well that I'm learning, and obviously, it's just something that makes me, just thinking about it kind of drives you crazy a little bit, like your mind goes crazy. So I just wanted to overcome that, and I just wanted to prove to myself that I am able to do that. In terms of how for those of you who don't know, I took an L and I lost the fight. And my general demeanor is positive, and that's how I come out to be. But honestly, this L that I took, I struggled to cope with it. We've talked so many times about, dichotomy of control, and you doing the best you can, and your relationship you have, your success is dependent on the relationship you have with your failures, and stuff like that. Although I personally am a huge advocate of just showing up, and even if you fail, it doesn't matter. I very much encourage and welcome failure. Failing isn't really failure, it's when you don't get back up. That's what actual failure is, right? Failing is just another attempt that you couldn't make it, and then that gives you a chance to go at it again in a better way. So I don't think I really failed. It was just that when I was able to reflect back on the loss I had and the struggle this is why I've been sort of out of momentum as well, because I struggled to cope with it. And what I was pinpointed down to this one reason, which I've shared before as well, that your happiness, and if you were to put that in a simple mathematical formula, it's your happiness equals to events minus expectations, right? And with this event, I had so many expectations, and I had a very strong belief, and I still do, that I could have beaten him. I could have won that fight. And no, throughout the preparation, not a single time that I had a doubt that I couldn't beat him. We sparred one time before as well, before the fight, and I just had full belief and huge expectations as to how I was going to beat him, right? And I was humbled. I was humbled, and somebody said to me, better to be humbled now than later on in your career or whatever. And that really sat well with me, and gave me a perspective. But I genuinely realized that I learned more from losing here than I would have from winning, right? Things really didn't go how I planned it. There was a lot of uncertainty, uh, and I faced more barriers, struggles, walls to that I had to overcome, and that's where I obviously learned the most as well. Uh, I tried to do as much as I could to give my 100%, in terms of my preparation and everything. But some things they just didn't go my way, even though I had such a strong belief that I would. It just didn't go my way, and I struggled to overcome with it. I think that's that. But one thing that really, really, really made me happy was when I got out of the ring, I showered, got ready, went back down to the venue, just spending time with my friends. And all my friends, literally, they came and told me that you genuinely inspire us. You instill this energy within us that
Touche.
makes us want to do more. And
They were the best crowd. They were the
yeah,
best crowd. You could in the video. They were like, my God, they were
yeah,
just like
no, 100%.
their commentary
People
was
said it there
amazing.
as well. But
Yeah,
my one friend of mine that I ran a half marathon with as well, like he came and told me, bro, I don't know how you feel about yourself, or you win or loss, whatever. I just want you to know that you've had a very positive effect in my life, and there are things that I never imagined I could do, which I was able to do because of you. So you inspire us, and that really
touche.
obviously pushes me, fuels me to do more and more. I have been a result of the energy that I've taken from other people and executed on myself that people are picking up on now, right? I've picked up on this energy as well from other sources, right? They've inspired me, and then I'm just like, passing that energy on. And, the more they can do for themselves, the good it is for him, for me, and for their surroundings. And obviously that passes on. Inspiration just keeps moving on. Energy flows, bad or good. It always flows, right? So this is just consciously creating more and more positive energy that can flow and flow and flow and pass on to other people. But it was quite an experience. All I want to say is failure is something I've welcomed all my life, but this time it was a bit hard to overcome because of the very expectations I set out for myself. And I sort of got lost in the process where I wasn't as much focused on the process, maybe, but having certain expectations of the result. Like I was very uh, influenced in the process by how what the result will be. I guess you have to do that to some extent with boxing. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm in a phase where I'm kind of readjusting now, and you know yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, again, only so few can experience what you have, and like I am trying to relate to the things that you're talking about, because the sport that you were in, the situation that you were in, not a lot of people would actually put themselves into that situation. Again, it's a thing that you talk about, involuntary struggle,
Suffering,
and
yeah.
that makes me just so happy and proud to see
Voluntary,
that
voluntary. Sorry,
you know
this
voluntary
is
or
voluntary,
involuntary.
right?
Voluntary. Ah, of course, yeah, that
No,
makes
no,
sense.
that's
Sorry, I
fine.
was just
That's
so
fine.
lost in what you said that I
Yeah,
did not even
yeah,
realize. So correct. Um, the voluntary struggle that you put yourself into is just tremendous, and your friend is right. It truly has left an impact on all of us.
yeah.
So thank you
No,
for
thank
that.
you for you guys. I have such amazing people around me that uh, just inspire me as well in different ways. It's there's these just little things. I take inspiration from everything, and we have this one policy. A lot of our policies kind of like crossover, and I
Of
think
course,
we
yes, yes.
should definitely do an episode sometime on that. But one policy was that uh, everybody has something to offer, and if you are able to you know dig down deep and find that out in them and make them aware of it as well, you will find an inspiration yourself, and you will find a way for them to inspire themselves, right? So
Beautiful.
beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. I say it all the time, and everybody has something to offer. You just need to have the right questions, the right uh, sight to
Absolutely.
dig out that inspiration from them and give them that energy. So that's what we're trying to do with our conversations as well. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. So very grateful for the people around me, and yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm still, honestly, I haven't recovered. I've recovered life physically and mentally. I'm still trying to recover from it. Obviously, first day was the hardest. That night was like I wasn't, but it's getting better and better now, slowly and slowly. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm gonna put up the fight link or something. If official video came out
Yes, you
yesterday, so I
must.
can
Yeah.
add the link to the description of this podcast if somebody wants to go and watch it. Uh, you will disclaimer. You will see me getting. I think it was very 50-50. Before I was like,
It was he pushed you. He pushed you. I don't think he didn't
no,
even
that
like
like
knock you out or anything
I
like that.
missed
If
my
you,
footing.
yeah,
I my back foot kind of like I was a bit,
yeah. And plus, I think every minute of it was amazing. Like it was exhilarating.
yeah.
Like I did not put my phone down. So like it was amazing. It was actually a very
Yeah,
proper
no,
fight.
thank you, bro. Like, I definitely wanna. There is this thing in me that wants to, level out that loss, and we'll see how it goes. But
You will.
I need to,
You will. I have no
yeah, I
doubt.
need to really like dive down deep within that. Is that wish to avenge that loss coming from within, or the perceptions of of society, of taking an L or whatever, like a lot of things in my life are driven because of that, and I try and be very aware of not to give power to that sort of energy and take any sort of actions that are coming from that origin, you know so
I understand what you're saying, and I believe you will do it at your own time. But I will leave you with a
yeah,
final thought on this. That would be that it's about what you said in the beginning, that you did not do this to. I
I
mean, of
forget
course,
that.
by
I
definition,
know
you
what
are a
you mean.
boxer,
Yeah,
but yeah, by definition, you are a boxer, but it's the reason why you didn't started this, and the reason was something, and then of course, when we get into something, it stems into different reasons. But I believe the answer to everything, a question like this, like a dilemma type question, is why you started in the first place. So from there, you
yeah.
will
I
get the
honestly
answer.
live to better myself in whatever I'm doing. That is the purpose in life, just to better yourself in every day and everything you do. And obviously, I was doing boxing, so this was a way for me to push myself to the limit. And I'm glad I was able to do that. In hindsight, I I'm sometimes harsh on myself and these things when I'm thinking very short term. But if I thought about it like, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I would never even think of stepping in the ring, and I was able to do that now. So I take, I have nothing but pride for myself, and uh, you know,
I'm sorry, because but you said something which reminded me of Seneca as well. I mean, he said that we're too often so kind to other people, but too often so harsh on
yeah,
ourselves. So what he was trying to say is that make a decision based on our own capabilities, our own understandings, and things that give us comfort, and do not be always so extreme with things.
that's
So
the thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean these realizations, yeah,
Yeah,
very important.
100%. It's like you can get carried away sometimes in the moment, and I have seen myself be a victim of that in the past week because I was a bit harsh on myself because of how it went, even though like it wasn't even in my control. Whatever happened happened. I still came out. I still did what I wanted to do. The goal was never to win. I was just in camp. I was just so focused on everything, watching other fight camps and how professional fighters train and stuff, and you know how their belief is they can't even think about taking a loss, and that is the kind of mentality I.
Yeah, I think like basically, if I were to put it, how it made you feel, like the whole experience, and you would like want a constant feeling of that all the
Of
time, like this focus mode that you were in.
would I want it like generally in life?
Yeah, like a mentality, like where you focus, like for example, like let's say like a fight camp for your entire life, like I mean not as
Hmm.
vigorous or not as extreme, and not leading to a fight, but like in
No,
theory,
I wouldn't.
like where
I
you're just
wouldn't want that because, like, I was
okay.
focused on something, thing that is set in time, a certain result, rather than on the process. So I don't vouch for that personally. Maybe got a bit
I
carried
see.
away, but I'm the person who's always, we've discussed this as well. Focus on the process. Do what you enjoy like doing, and every step that you take, if you live every step to the fullest, it will get you to the destination you're going towards eventually. And it's not about the destination, it's about the process or the path you walk, and that's what teaches you, and that's what is yours to kind of cherish. And it's the biggest source of your learning. So maybe got a bit carried away this time, but
No, no, that is beautifully
yeah.
summed up. Yeah.
But no, I it kind of my heart feels light talking about these things and discussing it, and coming out, and discussing with you, obviously. So very grateful for that. I think we'll sum it up here. We've gone like 20 minutes
Yeah.
over. No
No
limit.
limit.
I'm a fucking soul. Sorry.
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
mark
it's a
this.
song. It's a song. Have you heard?
It's a song that
Yeah,
both
yeah,
of us,
yeah. I know you haven't.
I
Yeah.
listened it to,
Anyway,
I mean, I think 10 times this
that's
morning.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, uh, any last words, Anas? Just we're good.
I think
Okay,
phew, we've this was
that's fine.
such an
Just to
amazing
conclude,
conversation.
guys,
So grateful.
what the things we discussed, try and be aware of what things you're better accountable to. In most cases, it's not, it's us, it's our friends or family or whatever, as that accountability partner in something that you're doing in life, and see how that works out for you. But to make sure that accountability is very much, the dynamics of it are very much real. Don't just do it for the sake of it. It needs to come willingly as well. You know what I mean? And then obviously focus on the process. You're gonna take L's. This was the biggest L I took in my life. Uh, but yeah, it only makes you stronger. I genuinely believe if I would have won, I wouldn't be reflecting this much on it. And only by going down that you create a space for yourself to go up. So that's there to conclude. I hope you guys enjoyed this
Yes.
episode. Thank you for sticking by till the end. We really appreciate you. Support us in any way you can, please. If I just want to know from you guys as well, if you have had an accountability buddy or a friend or whatever, and how that worked out for you, if you had a similar experience to us or not. And
State
yeah,
Brothers.
we kind of go that. Me and Anna. So yeah, just let us know, like, if you've had an accountability buddy and how that went for you, and we can, by talking about these experiences more and more, that we can learn more about ourselves. So again, support us in any way you can, talk to us, engage with us, and we appreciate uh, you being a part of this. Thanks again for joining till the end, and we will see you next Sunday.